we are proposing, if any of the industry partner who is ready to with share with data or some information for energy audit, and then only our scientists will suggest where the intervention required. So we have already made a complete program, and that program also shared with the Gundalpala mill. But unfortunately, due to when we visited, our chairman has visited, and then the corona and this situation was not favorable, and we could not make.
Thank you very much for inviting me, Dr. Shakyawar, Director NINFET, his peerless and unprecedented team, other dignitaries in this occasion. And firstly, I want to say that this is a very, very exciting session for me. My skills are that of a management consultant, and I have worked for many multinationals including Intel, Coca-Cola, Cisco. The first top 25 companies I've worked for, and this is the first time I've noticed that a government institute has come up with such a wonderfully open forum to collect data and form a vision. This is really praiseworthy, sir, and it is owing to your leadership and your vision that this is happening, and it is much appreciated by industry. You and your colleagues, really appreciable. That's the first thing I have to say. Secondly, this is how exactly a multinational with thousands of offices across the country, across the globe functions. That's how they build up their vision, that's how they work. Their students will grow up on Intel technology, and when they join a job, they will prefer buying Intel products. So they are planning 25 years ahead. So this is the first time I am seeing a government department planning 25 years ahead. So I have never admittedly come across a single government department doing this. So you can understand how much I appreciate this. This is really path breaking. So the clapping is for Dr. Shakyawar, right? Yes. Let's be very clear. Secondly, in life, let's say, I think all of us are married or about to be married here, right? In marriage, it's the little things that count, right? It's not the big thing. If you remember somebody's birthday once in a year, that is not so important. But if you do the little things, kaise ho ji, kya kar rahe ho ji, that is more important. So when Dr. Shakyawar first started inviting me to these occasions, I think this is my third or fourth time here, I really started appreciating the little things that he does. For example, the coffee is the best in all government institutes here. After Dr. Shakyawar came in, and these little dhoklas that came in today, they were really appreciable. So this is, little thinking goes inside every little thing, and he is a wonderful host. I think all of us agree to that, right? So all this, the presentations by Dr. Shakyawar and Dr. Chatterjee, I found really exciting. I've written a few notes, and those notes overshadow whatever I had in the presentation, but I think it's all relevant. For instance, you are doing peerless work. All of you are doing wonderful work. You have to involve the media in this. The media doesn't have any clue what you are doing, and unless you involve the media, I am ready to help. I have 32 years consulting for the media. I consulted for all the top brands in the media. So unless you involve the media, the common public will not know about it. If the common public does not know about it, your members of parliament and members of legislative assemblies will not know about it. And if they do not know about it, the vote bank will not be pressurized. If the vote bank is not pressurized, you will not get important projects. So we cannot work in a cocoon. We cannot work in an isolated environment. Whatever wonderful things that were said, let me guarantee you, if you walk out of this institute and ask 10 people, nobody will have any clue, right? So, out of those wonderful projects, just a little suggestion. You were talking about aviation sector and the filler material for natural fibers, and you were also talking about building for leather, all that stuff. If you build, just a suggestion, a single engined aircraft entirely out of natural fibers, just as a pilot project, just imagine the media coverage that will be given to NINFET, and it will catch the instant imagination of the whole world and how natural fibers can be a winner, not only in the Indian media but in the international media, and it is doable. Whatever I saw in those presentations, it is entirely doable for you. If you take up a project with the ministry or whatever ministry and then install a ERP, preferably SAP, and involve every stakeholder, it could be jute mills, it could be farmer producer organizations, it could be scientists, it could be everybody, the transporters who transport jute bags and raw jute, everybody can log into an app and participate. This will bring the industry together and delete all the unorganized sector in the industry. Today, the industry is 70 to 80% unorganized, right? Thanks to you, you're thinking about it now. We have to do it yesterday. Now, if all that comes in under one SAP umbrella, just imagine how fast we can achieve that. And again, my help or my organization's help is extended anytime you want. Third, all these wonderful things that you suggested in a presentation, I invite you to come and do it at the IJMA conference room, and we can invite all the mill owners. Data is very vital to progress. There's a lot of missing data. Eye and hand method doesn't have any proper data collection, okay, or real-time data collection. The warp will be jute and whatever, maybe the weft will be linen. You know, you are the experts, you can think about it. Exactly. The sacks that are being bought by the government, that is the bare minimum of technology or the bare minimum of quality, right? You and I will not go to a marketplace and buy sacks, jute sacks. Why? Because we don't like the quality. If we want an upholstery or a curtain or a sofa cover, we will go for some other fabric. But if we can, you know, interweave different whatever, and also by some advertising or a media communication tool, we can interest farmers in growing sisal. Sisal, I think, as far as I have been told by all of you, is very easy to cultivate. But we don't cultivate it anywhere, right? So we should interest farmers in it, and if they see money in it, if they see a possibility of revenue, they will go for it. So that is one thing. So as I said in my presentation, there is an exploding global market for natural fibers. And as Dr. Chatterjee explained, the center point is India, because India's, you know, diversity, climate, etc., so and so. So we are not, you know, exploiting it at all. For the simple reason, the research is restricted to institutes like this, and the common public doesn't know about it. Industry somehow should be given an immediate business case. Mr. Lohia is here; he can explain that better. If an industry sees a business case, then you have investors all across the world who have lots of money. They are only looking for a good project to invest in. आज मैं 100 रुपया डालूंगा, कल 1000 रुपया निकालूंगा. That is his only concern, right, sir? So investor only thinks about return of money. If these institutes like NINFET can show a business case in the media for these projects, then you will get outside investment in the jute industry, in the rami industry, in the sisal industry. Today there is no investment other than the existing jute mills, which are still continuing with the 200-year-old technology. So we need outside interest, outside investment, outside talent pool. In my limited efforts, I started a website called jutejob.com. Previously, the problem was, Mr. Saha will attest to what I am saying, if you need a worker for a jute mill, you just poach from another jute mill. So it was a limited talent pool. Today, after jutejob.com has become a success, people from the textile industry, people from aviation, communication, they are trying to join the jute industry. There is an interest from Maharashtra, from Madhya Pradesh, from Odisha, where people did not know about jute. Now they are going into that website, applying for jobs, getting jobs. Mills are also posting jobs. So it has become a talent pool for new people. If you don't get new people, you cannot progress. If you have somebody who says, I have been 40 years working in this industry, he knows only those 40 years long, the same technologies, the same processes. You have to have somebody younger coming and challenging you. That can only happen if you have outside talent, right? So this has been happening in a limited way with jutejob.com. Everybody, all of you should be participating in it, posting your CVs, looking for jobs. Mill owners should be posting more jobs. Institutes should be posting more jobs. last meeting we had with the jute commissioner, there was this suggestion for posting all the, eye care jobs on jutejob.com. So all this can be progressed. So can we have the next slide? So today, natural fibers is standing against one single wall, which is plastic. And we have lost the habit of carrying our shopping bags. When we were kids, I'm 54 years old, right? So this 25-year-old vision, so vision is wonderful. It is really, the legislation is valid. We are not forcing anything illegal or, unprecedented. The legislation has happened in Europe, it has happened in North America, and has happened in Japan because of the plastic lobby. Plastic is wonderful. It is very good for certain products. For example, you have bridges coming up made of plastic, which are very durable, wonderful engineering procedures and products. Institutes like NINFET will keep on doing research and nothing will come out of it. Why? Because there's no business case. There has to be a business case. By economies of scale, we can achieve cheaper and cheaper shopping bags made out of natural fibers and which are extremely good for the environment. Have you heard about that frog story? Anybody? Okay, what happened was, there's a frog, you put it in a tumbler of water and you heat the water to 100 degrees very, very slowly. So the frog adjusts to the temperature, and by the time it is 90 degrees, it's boiled. The frog is dead. But it does not escape the water because the water is not heating up very fast. So plastic is slowly poisoning us, slowly poisoning us. So we'll have children growing an extra arm or an extra leg because we are genetically poisoning ourselves. This will manifest itself in diseases as you grow older, in the food you eat, the water you drink, and the air you breathe. And it is our responsibility to take those steps. We are not trying to lobby for natural fibers, we are trying to protect our health. Right? Can we have the next slide, please? Right now we are still in the research stage, we are still in the questioning stage, at the vision stage. But we should have been in the manufacturing stage and export stage. We should have had our ports and airports full of containers of these natural fiber products and being supplied to Europe. There is a demand right now, not 25 years later. So the third point there, jute bags are for packing rice and wheats are still being supplied in a form that is not acceptable to the retail customer. With our middle class salary, do we walk into a shop and say, "Mujhe jute ke products dikhaiye, I want to buy"? We don't do that, right? And Gloucester and Birla and Ganges were part of it. And they accepted whatever steps they had suggested, that was absolutely doable immediately. The problem is nobody is doing it. So all of us have to work together to convince people that this can be done and new products can be brought out of it. Yeah, next slide please. So these are some things that I remembered from that presentation of IIT Delhi. I am not a technology person. So they said mercerization of jute thread, like we already have mercerization of cotton. Then coating, you suggested coating, so coating please. So as I said, any form of support from the union government, be it captive orders or whatever, is welcome. But if research and industry becomes totally dependent on it, then we can't get ahead. It should be restricted to 10 to 15% of the total turnover of the industry. Today I think the jute industry is registered as 12,000 crores. We can easily implement all these features and make it 40,000 crores in the next 5 years. So that can be another vision and we can all participate in it. Jute plants. We don't use any water, for God's sake. Nobody knows anything. CII, the premier business chamber in India, doesn't have any clue how much water is used. They think Coca-Cola uses water, so jute plants also use water. How much water do you use? How much trash? How much trash is built out of jute plants? 0%. It's a carbon neutral factory. No, I think that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A very nice suggestion is one of the important where we are lacking, and we have to focus on that, how to enhance our media reports.